So today we're going to talk about the SEO formula for roofing contractors. It's really the SEO formula for a lot of local businesses, but it really is the effective in roofing. The way that we put this together to get more leads from your website, from your Google My Business listing, things like that. So today we're going to talk about the latest updates with the Google algorithm. We're going to talk about the things that you need to put in place, or some of the things that maybe you put in place in the past that could be hurting you now. Google's algorithm is always making changes. And we're going to talk about how to optimize your website properly for SEO in 2022. So if everyone can, if we can have your full attention, turn off your Facebook, turn off your cell phone, I'll do the same. I'll put my cell phone on do not disturb so I don't get disturbed. Turn my other phone off here too. My desk phone. If you're a roofing business owner and you're serious about getting better results in the next 60 minutes, we could really make an impact for you here. So for those of you that don't know me, who am I? Who is Jim Aline? Who is Roofer Marketers? Why am I listening to you today? I am the co-author of 2 books, Internet Marketing for Roofing Contractors and The Best Known Roofer. I speak at a lot of the industry trade shows and events and things like that. We're members of the NRCA. I'm the host of the Roofing Success podcast. I am the marketing coach in Adam Bensman's Pitch Pro movement. We are ICO Roof Pro preferred, the preferred digital marketing contractor for all ICO Roof Pro contractors. We are a Google partner, and really this is what we do all day, every day. We do digital marketing for roofing companies, and we have for the past 7 years. So we focus, just to kind of give you a broad view of what we do, we focus on 3 core principles in our digital marketing for roofing contractors. The first is to maximize the opportunity to generate a lead for your roofing business online. And that's really what we're talking about today in regards to SEO. SEO is an opportunity. And the more opportunities you have to make that phone ring, the more consistent lead flow you will have in your business. The second thing that we focus on is maximizing the brand impressions to your perfect customer, and then maximizing the conversion rates around all of those things. So this is our monthly webinar series. This is an ongoing series where we go through all of the topics that go into these 3 core principles. So if all of the replays that we have are up on YouTube, you could go and check out the replays if you want to just dive into some of this stuff, or follow along this year as we go through all of these topics. So does SEO still matter? Drop a 1 in the chat if you think SEO still matters in 2022. Awesome. Thanks, DJ. It's easy. It's better with participation. It's not just me speaking into the interweb. Justin, yes, right? Like, of course, SEO still matters. It's a big component in what you do on a day-to-day basis, how you can generate leads for your roofing business. This is the way that Google displays the search engine results. When somebody types in, say, roofers Dallas, Texas, roofers Minneapolis, roofing companies near me, all of those types of things. This is called the local search engine results page. This is split into 2 sections. So the websites on the right-hand side here go underneath the maps listing. But at the top of the page, you have your Google local services ads. Below that, you have your Google ads. Below that, the map with 3 companies listed in the map section, and then the websites that Google feels most relevant to that search query. So when we're talking about SEO, we're really talking about the way that Google feels about your website and how it shows you and ranks you in the website section, but also in conjunction with your Google My Business listing, because both of those are organic listings. They're all based. The reason that you're there is based on Google's algorithm and the factors that go into Google's algorithm. So the ads and the Google local service ads, that's paid, right? That's where Google makes its money. The organic section is where Google is really trying to display the best results for the searcher, for what the searcher is looking for. So between the map section and the website section, it gets about 73% of the traffic on the page. The paid section takes up about 27% of the traffic on the page. So all of these are important for your roofing business, but you can see that 73% of the traffic goes to the organic section. So inorganic, a little, talking about that a little bit, you see on the website section, you have the Better Business Bureau, you have Home Advisor, you have Yelp, you have, Angie's List, all of the big lead aggregators that are really fighting for those spots to take that traffic and sell those leads back to the contractors in that area. One of the things that you will notice is that those big lead aggregators can't get into the map section. So, only the local contractors are the ones that are showing up in that map section. 7% go to the first 5 listings. So the 3 in the map pack and the top 2 in the organic section. In the organic section, in the top 2, you will find Home Advisor, Angie's List, Better Business Bureau, and Yelp over and over and over again. They spend millions of dollars every year to get into those spots. But you'll see it, often that there are also local contractors that get that are mixed in with those big lead aggregators, and so it's very valuable. So of course, yes, like everyone said, absolutely. Jacquem said, yes, SEO still matters. 75% of this company's calls, they had 286 calls. 75% came from their organic efforts, right? Some was from Facebook, Google AdWords, and this is what we're talking about when we're maximizing opportunities. You're getting leads in from multiple sources. I'm a big fan of a business philosopher named Jim Rohn. He passed away many years ago, but one of the things that I got from him is he always said that to have consistent lead flow in your business, you need 5 to 7 lead sources. So when good luck. When you get to that 5 to 7 lead sources, then you really get that consistent lead flow. And then if one thing is better than the other, sometimes, you have a bad month with AdWords, you make it up in organic or Facebook, things like that. David and Teresa's S22 said, good luck getting in that rotating 3-pack. Man, it's not that challenging, but you have to understand the advantages and disadvantages of that 3-pack. So we could speak to that too, guys. I'd be happy to speak to that for you guys. So SEO still matters. You can't rely on paid alone. There's some agencies out there that will tell you, hey, just do Google ads or just do Facebook ads. I'm sure you guys get, 100 emails a week saying, hey, we could get you more leads. How many leads can we get you? And they're focused on that paid aspect. Paid is quicker than SEO, right? So you can get lead flow quicker than SEO, but you can't rely on it forever as the only lead source for your business. So we'll start off with the biggest changes that have happened over not just this year, but over the past couple of years in SEO. Really the biggest thing that's impacting SEO today is detailed and well-written content really, really matters. Low quality and spammy links pointed at your website will have an adverse effect on your rankings. There were, I don't know how many years you guys have been working on getting your website ranked for your roofing business, but there was a time in the mid-2000 teens where it was like, just get a whole bunch of links, get links from everywhere. And Google has started to penalize that, or it's been a couple of years now that they've been penalizing that. But we still run across companies when we're doing audits, SEO audits and things like that, where man, they have all these crazy spammy backlinks pointing to their website. You need a real physical office in your city to rank well in the Google Maps. That may be one of the challenges that David and Teresa mentioned in the comments there. And Google is very picky these days about their address and where your physical business is located to get ranked in the map section. And then a big change that's happened recently, and Google has expressed this, and Google doesn't express things about SEO very often, but Google has said, the top people over at Google have said that site speed matters. And so site speed is an important factor in your SEO rankings. So first, let's dive in a little bit into detailed and well-written content. So I'd like to have you guys reflect on how detailed your website is. And what I mean that is how many words and pages, or how many pages are on your website and how many words are on each page. If you think about it, like if you think about, if I have a piece of paper with words on it, one piece of paper, and I have and I hand you a piece of paper with words on it and a book, a really thick book on how to install, a standing seam metal roofing system, right? Like we have a piece of paper with bullet points on it, and we have a book that's really thick. Think of which one would you think off the top of your head, like just looking at them, which one is more authoritative, right? The book is more authoritative because there's, maybe 150, 300 pages of detailed information about standing seam metal roofing systems and how to install them, right? What can you get on a piece of paper, right? You can maybe hit the highlights, but you're not going to be able to go into that granular detail about that. So that's kind of how Google is thinking, right? Google is looking at your website as how authoritative it is. So what you can start with, the foundation of it, is building out a page for each and every service that you offer. An example of that would be, you might have a page for asphalt shingles, but then within that page, you have even deeper content on 3-tab, architectural, and different things, hail resistant, right? That all of the different, class 4, all of the different really very detailed things about going into that specific topic. You could have a page for metal roofing and go into all of the different types of metal roofing systems that you install. So standing seam or stone coated steel, or corrugated, or so you could get very detailed in those. And now you can write, Google likes to see a lot of words, right? So more authoritative, right? So now for each of those pieces of content, for each of those pages, you have, 600, 800, 1,000, 1,200 words about that, right? So it's not just, hey, we do this, right? We install asphalt shingles, metal roofing, cedar, and tile, right? You could have one sentence about that on your website, but that's not authoritative, right? That's not telling Google that you're an expert on these things. So every service you offer should have its own page of well-written, informative, and detailed content. Now, most companies that we work with, they service a 25, 50-mile radius. And so then you should have, in addition to those service pages that you should have pages targeting each and every one of those cities in your service area, and making them unique. So talking about that service area a little bit. So every page should be uniquely written for that specific city. So I live here in the Minneapolis, Twin Cities metropolitan area. So companies that work with us here will express their service area with all of the, the suburbs, right? Plymouth, Minnesota, and Maple Grove, Minnesota, and Minnetonka, Minnesota, and Eden Prairie, and Maple Grove, and all of these service areas. And really, the reason you want to do that is because that's how people search for roofing. And we'll talk a little bit about the keywords that people type into roofing when they're looking for a roofing contractor a little bit later. So now, well-written copy matters. You want to sell the visitor on your services. Make sure that they don't leave without contacting you. So you're writing about the services that you provide. You're writing about your service area. But there's two parts to the way you write for SEO. SEO, if you write only for SEO, it doesn't read well to the visitor, to the site visitor. There's too many keywords in those places. So you have to write it in a way that expresses and speaks to the fears of the consumer at the same time. So and making sure that you're asking them to do what you want, right? You want them to make a phone call or schedule a free estimate, schedule a free inspection. So make sure that within the content that you're writing, you have calls to action. You're speaking to their fears. You're maybe adding reviews to that page so that there's some social proof, giving them an opportunity to want to call you. David and Teresa said, yeah, you almost have to have an office in every city, it seems. Hey, David and Teresa, what city is your office located in? That'll help me speak to what you're talking about a little bit. So the next thing is you want to have, if you have too many irrelevant and low quality links pointing back to your website, that could actually hurt you, right? So it used to be, like I said, it used to be all about links, but the Penguin update really wiped that out. They name these Google algorithm updates now. So there's Penguin and Panda and all these things. You really want to get rid of, go take a look at your backlink profile, or have an SEO expert look at your backlink profile if you've been around for a lot of years, and just go through and see if there's anything that may be hurting you. With backlinks, a backlink is another website pointing to your website. So let's say for an example, there's an article that has been written about your company in the with the local news organization, and they wrote an article about how you maybe you have a roof giveaway program, or you helped someone in the community, or you sponsored an event in the community, and they write an article about this event that happened. And then in that article, there's a link to your website. That is a backlink. So these backlinks occur in all different forms across the internet. Other types of backlinks are, let's say you're GAF Master Elite and you're listed on the GAF website. There's a link to your website, or OC or ICO, or whoever you are a preferred contractor with. Those are backlinks. Sometimes you'll see, like, the backlink will be words and not just the location of the website, not www.yourroofingcompany.com. Sometimes it says click here, or roofing, and so a lot of those challenging backlinks, where it says click here, that's referred to as anchor text. Not to get too technical, but anchor text, having bad anchor text in the links linking back to you, can really have a negative impact on your company. Back in those fun days of when links really mattered, people created anchor text out of keywords that they were trying to rank for. So David said Robertsdale, Alabama is where he's located. So people would, instead of writing click here, they would put best roofing company, Robertsdale, Alabama. And that would be the text in the link. That's Google kind of caught on to that, and they're like, oh, they're trying to, it's called keyword stuffing. So they're keyword stuffing their anchor text, and that could have a negative impact on your business. So taking a look at your backlink profile can help you determine if there's some of that old spammy stuff that's around. And then what you can do is you can disavow them. You can say, Google, don't pay attention to that link. We don't like it. So work to diversify your anchor text and build out more high quality links as you're going along and building out for your roofing business. The third thing, you need a real physical office to rank well in the Google Maps. So David is mentioning this, right? You're in Robertsdale, Alabama. David, what's that near? What's the biggest? I'll Google it real quick and see. But Robertsdale, Alabama. So you're down by Mobile, Fairhope, all around that area. Foley, I guess, might be a close one to you. And so eliteproroofing.com is the website. Awesome. We'll take a look at that as we go along. So major impacts on the Google Maps section. Google is extremely proximity based. And that I think what David was mentioning is you almost have to have an office in every city, it seems. So that's one of the disadvantages of the map section, is that there is a very strong proximity factor. Proximity, relevance, and authority are the three main factors that go into if you're showing up in the map section. And so proximity to your office location. So for David here, maybe he'd like to show up in Mobile, but he's a decent distance away. I don't know, 10, 15, 20 miles away from Mobile. So without having an address in Mobile, it would be very challenging to show up in Mobile versus, and same thing, even within a major metropolitan area like the Twin Cities, Minneapolis and St. Paul, right? They're the Twin Cities. If you search from, if you're in the western suburbs like Minnetonka and you type in roofing companies, you're going to get a different set of companies in that map section. If you drive across town to Maplewood, to the eastern suburb or Woodbury, an eastern suburb of St. Paul, Minneapolis, St. Paul, you're going to get different contractors that show up there because Google is extremely proximity based. So that's why we're not focusing on just one of these areas, right? You can't just do one of these things. You can't just do Google local services. You can't just do Google pay-per-click. You can't just do the map section yet. You can't just work on your website SEO. You can't just do Facebook ads. And that's our philosophy, is maximizing the opportunities, because there are advantages and disadvantages to each. Each of them are tools. You can think of them as tools, right? It's very hard to hammer a nail with a screwdriver, right? It just is. So know what tool you are using for the job. Google pay-per-click advertising, man, you could get super targeted and you could get it to show up right now because Google will always take your money. But long-term, there's disadvantages to it. The cost per lead is challenging in Google Ads. There's a lot of competition there. In the map section, you're going to use that tool to really rank in your local area, really, in a few mile radius of where your office is located. But if you're trying to show up across town, if you want leads coming in from across, like across a major metropolitan area, if you're in Dallas and you want leads over in Louisville and you're in Plano, you're going to not be able to rely on your Google Maps listing. So those are the types of things that just understanding that will help you know, hey, you know what? We just got the wrong tool for the job here, right? David, if you're maybe something happens over in Mobile and you're like, man, there's we really want to hit a specific area over there, or some, then you can use other opportunities to show up there. One is your website, right? You could have a page for those service area pages can help to get you showing up for a lot of those areas. So primary address on your local maps listing. Google Maps has had major changes where they have shrunk the proximity of where you're showing up. They have, I think it was 2019, they went and took down about 5 million Google My Business listings in a day that had like fake addresses and UPS stores and things like that. Google really knows, hey, they've caught on, right? They've caught on to the tricks. And this is what happens in SEO. SEO is kind of reverse engineering what Google likes. And so people will go out and they will like SEOs will go out and figure out what Google likes, and then they'll start doing those things, like when backlinks really work. So you just put a whole bunch of backlinks, and then Google goes, oh wait, they're trying to trick us, right? So they're trying to trick us. So now we'll figure out, oh, this is how they're trying to trick us. Oh, now that's not a viable option anymore, and all of the people who were doing that get wiped out. So primary address, take a major toll on multiple, don't work from fake addresses, things like that. You have to have a real physical business address in the city that you want to get ranked in. Ideally, you want to show the address on your Google My Business listing. We have noticed in the last 4 or 6 months that that if you have a service area business and don't show your physical address, your office address, that that those listings are not getting into the 3-pack as often anymore. Yeah, and that's a challenge. So David also wrote, what I was speaking to is that it's the tool for the job, right? And so he almost has to use pay-per-click to get noticed because his SEO hasn't been working, or wasn't maybe not working in the area that he's trying to get business in. So that's a strong factor. So now the other thing is that site speed matters. How fast does your website load? And can play a big factor in rankings. And it's just that Google's overall goal is to provide the searcher with the best user experience. So we just have to think about it that way. Great content on the website, good user experience, right? A fast loading website, great user experience. How many, like if you click on a website and you start to see that thing spin, how long will you wait before you just say, hey, I'm out of here, let's go to the next one, right? It doesn't take long before you move on, right? And so Google understands that, right? Google understands that if you're not doing the things to give the searcher a good experience, it's going to penalize you for that. You can check your page speed at you could actually just Google page speed insights, and that's Google, and you can drop your website into that, and we can do that with anyone that wants to share their website. So mobile and desktop must be considered, right? Mobile site speed and desktop site speed, because so many people, man, we're on our phones all the time. So that's a very important factor. This is going to get probably too technical for most of you right now. Ways to increase your site speed: enable compression, minify CSS, JavaScript, and HTML, reduce redirects, remove render blocking JavaScript, leverage browser caching, improve server response time, use a content distribution network, and optimize images. That's way too much information for the average person to do all of these things, but that's what you're doing. And one of the things that you could do is a simple thing that you could do is optimize your images. So instead of having the full 4K size image that goes into this little small area of your website, you create the image for the size of that area. You resize the image for the exact location it is on your website. Simple things like that. Using good website hosting. A lot of website hosting services will help with some of this in regards to that. And using services. So good hosting, we build all of our websites on WordPress. Our agency does, and so a good WordPress hosting is some good WordPress hosting. It would be something like WPX or WP Engine. WPX is another good WordPress hosting site with good words. DJ said a short pixel plugin. What's short pixel? I haven't heard of that one. Now, is that to reduce image size or something like that? Yeah, Google it. So many ways. Short pixel image optimization, right? So that's a good one. Yeah, it's a good idea there. Having some good image optimization on your website. The longer it takes for that to load, the less likely you're going to show up in Google. There's other things. What was it? Nitro Pack is a WordPress plugin that does site speed optimization, and you can get your site speed to the 100 on mobile and 100 on desktop with Nitro Pack, but Nitro Pack, you have to be careful because it'll start to break things on your website because it's trying to load things too fast. So sometimes it can do too much. But there are a lot of site speed optimization things that you can do, and simplified if your website is on WordPress, simplified through these plugins like DJ said, Short Pixel, Nitro Pack, and there's a ton more of them. So those are things that would the easy way, right? The easy button to this site speed optimization. But also being on good hosting. If you are on GoDaddy, please get off of GoDaddy hosting and find a better option. That is from a security standpoint and from a site speed standpoint, GoDaddy hosting is going to be real challenging for you. So what else has changed? SEO tactics, from a couple of years ago, they just simply don't work as much, anymore. Post Panda, Pigeon, Penguin era, it's all about user experience optimization. So good content, well-written content, fast speeds, content for, very authoritative content and lots of authoritative content, and really thinking about the user. Really thinking about the person who's going to visit your website, and are you providing them with a good experience when they visit your website? Experience optimization and technical on-site optimization are also very important. Some other ranking factors that we found. Google has hundreds of things in its algorithm that it's making a determination on for ranking. Click-through rate is key. Right. So again, just thinking of it simply, the more people click onto your website, like if you show up in the search results, if they click on your website, that's a vote for you, right? They clicked on your website versus the others that they saw. So Google is thinking, oh, that matches up. They typed in best roofing contractor, Dallas, and then they clicked on this website. That now we know that goes together. Now we look at how much time they spend on that website. So if they click on the website and they quickly come back to our search results, that probably wasn't the right information for that searcher. But if they clicked on that and then they spent time and they scrolled down the page and they read more things and watched a video and spent some time on it and clicked onto more inner pages into the website, now logically, right? If you think about it, that's what Google's looking for. You're providing a good experience to the user. They typed something in, they clicked on your website, and they spent time there. So for Google, that's an understanding that your website should be shown for what that person typed in. So that's what we refer to as bounce rate. How long they spend on the website, how many people just click on it and click away very quickly. Branding is huge. Google has fallen in love with brands, versus there was a time, again, in that middle 2000 teens where you would just keyword stuff your URL, your domain name, and say, roofing company Dallas, and that was the name of your company almost, right? They don't like that anymore. They like a brand name. You still want to have roofing in your name if you're targeting roofing, because Google still only knows how to read. But they don't like that city state kind of roofing city state as a domain names. They want to see a brand, and it's hard for them to differentiate that as a brand, right? And there are some companies that are they are named after their location, right? So that becomes challenging in the new in kind of Google's new algorithm. The number of citations, reviews, and relevant links. So citations are the way that your name, address, and phone number shows up across the internet in all of the different directories. So on Better Business Bureau, and on Yahoo Local, and on Yellow Pages, and on the Better Business Bureau, if I didn't mention that one, and on Google's own Google Business Profile, and on your Facebook profile, and on all of these things, on GAF's website, and on OC's website, and on ICO's website, and on Home Advisor's website, and Angie's List, and it's looking at all of your name, address, and phone number. And the more they see your name, address, and phone number around the internet, the more comfortable that this is XYZ Roofing at this location. Reviews are huge, not only for the searcher, but for Google's trust factor, right? The more quality reviews you have, the more real quality reviews you have, that shows a trust factor in your business. And then relevant links. We'll talk a little bit about that too. So with the new SEO formula, right, we're figuring out the most important keywords are based on your service area. We can use tools like the Google Keyword Tool, SEMrush, SpyFu, Google AdWords, all to find these keywords that are important for your area. You set up a great website with pages targeting those keywords, pages for every service in every city, neighborhood that you optimize for, or that you're in. Optimize your website for user experience, optimize your site for SEO, build authority, and track your results. So if anyone wants to, we'll drop their website into chat here. We got one, but if anyone else wants to drop their website in chat, I'd be happy to walk through. So this is one of the things that I want to go through that's really important in SEO, and that is the way that people search for SEO. So in marketing, there's something called the marketing funnel. There's a top of funnel, middle of funnel, and bottom of funnel. The bottom of funnel is where are the things that people type into Google when they're looking to make a phone call or make a purchasing decision. In roofing, these are some examples of that. City roofing companies, city roofing contractors, or flip it, roofing companies, city, roofing companies, right? Roofers, roofing services, roofing experts, roofing specialists. Roofers, roofing companies, and roofing contractors are the main three, the top three that people search for. Roofers by itself, just the word roofers gets on average 165,000 searches per month nationwide. Roofing companies gets 60,500 searches nationwide, and Roofing Contractors gets 49,500 searches nationwide. Then we have all of the other things that people can add on to that, right? They can add their city, their state. They can add, other things like repair, hail damage repair, wind damage, all these different things near me, in my area, family owned, GAF, OC, ICO, recommended, with financing, how warranties, right? Like all of these best, top, free estimate, free quote, all of these things can be related to those top three. So those are how people are searching when they are looking to make a phone call. That's the foundation of your website, right? So that's how your website gets built out. If you don't have pages for all of that stuff and hitting on all of those keywords, that's what you focus on first, because that's what people are doing, are typing into Google when they're looking to make a phone call. Then over time, we're starting to move up into the middle of funnel. So once you have all of that content at the bottom of funnel filtered out or built out on your website, not filtered out, built out on your website, now you can start moving into the middle of funnel. Things that people may type into Google in the middle of funnel for roofing are, what is the typical cost of a roof in city, state? What is the best roofing material? What are the best roofing materials to use in my area, in my city, in my state? Things like that, where people aren't maybe looking to make a phone call, but we can make an assumption that they're in a research phase right now. They're closer to a phone call. They're closer to a phone call than at the top of the funnel, where maybe they're typing in things like, what is the best color roof for a blue house? That's more informational. Like maybe they're thinking of building a house 5 years from now, and they're like, oh, let's start thinking about what the best color roof should be for this or that. So in that, you start at the bottom of funnel and then start developing content up the funnel. And ways that you can develop this, or ways that you can get think of topics to do this is, Marcus Sheridan is a kind of a famous guy in the industry. He wrote a book called They Ask You Answer. And what that is all of the questions that you get from homeowners and property owners on a day-to-day basis in your roofing business. Those questions you get more often, people are typing that into Google. So developing content around that is a strong way to do it. So on-site optimization, on-page optimization, strong website, good content, good user experience. Multimedia on pages if you can, a nice video about your company, or you could even get as granular as having a video for each of the roofing systems that you install, right? You can have video, a video on if, let's say, it's a commercial modified bitumen page, you could create a video talking about the benefits of using modified bitumen, or when to use modified bitumen versus TPO, or things like that. You can have that multimedia on each page, and that's going to keep people on the page longer, therefore sending a signal back to Google telling them, hey, this is a good website to show. Pages for all your services, pages for the cities and neighborhoods that you serve, quality content, well optimized, main keywords in the right places, meta descriptions that sell, that's what shows up, name, address, and phone number in the footer of the website, schema, that's some technical SEO stuff, and then blog ongoing with those questions that you get asked most often. And if you do that, you're really going to get to a point where your SEO is very strong. So we got a couple of websites that people have dropped into chat that we could take a peek at. So let me get those opened up here. If anyone has a question that they feel like, hey, I'd like to just unmute and ask a question here real quick, feel free to do that for me. I'm all about it. So nothing right now. Cool. I'll get these Get these opened up. Where was the other one? I knew there was one more. All right. Nikki, can you see the screen here?
I sure can.
All right, great. So we're looking at Elite Pro Roofing's website. And this is David, who was mentioning that they're having some challenges in the map section, down in Foley. So one of the first things that I notice here, so you have a good title tag, trusted Foley roofing contractor. The keyword roofing contractor is in it. Your brand, Elite Pro Roofing, is in it, and Foley, which is the location. So in these page titles, it's the keyword that you're targeting, the location that you're targeting, and your brand name. Those three things make up a really good title tag there. The other thing that you have going on here is things that I don't like. You have this the gallery that you can move through. So now, what is Google reading? Right? Google has to read 3 different tags. This is what's called a header tag. That's the ones with the big font on the page are header tags. And so what we're looking at here is, you see how this keeps changing, and now Google has to decide, well, which words are most important. So what the most important words here, quality roofing and Foley, Alabama, that might be the best words there out of these, or quality roofing company in Foley, Alabama, quality roofers in Foley, Alabama. So now you're targeting your keyword in there and the location. So let's look at a quick Google search here. So Better Business Bureau, Yelp, Elite Pro Roofing, right? When I type in roofing in Foley, Alabama, that's what Google is reading that. So you are ranking for that specific keyword phrase. So that's where sometimes we get a little bit off track. So now residential roofing experts, let's search for that one. That's going to show in my area right now, but let's type in Foley, Alabama. See if you show up for that one. Elite Pro Roofing. So you're doing all right with these, but it's actually showing a service page for that search term. So Google has decided that this is the page that it would show for residential roofing experts Foley, but you don't need these words here. It is kind of the gist of it. You have pages for a lot of the services you provide. That's great. Let's take a look at all these here. Latest roofing projects. It looks fairly, pretty well done. Your ranking. Here's an issue that I see here. So your address is in Robertsdale, but you're targeting Foley. I understand why, because of the population difference, I would assume is there, but so that may be a challenge for you in the map section. That may be something that's hurting you in the map section. Good calls to action, text us, get a quote, got a phone number in the upper right-hand corner. Pages for all your services. I don't quickly see service area pages. So you got pages for all the service areas. So professional Alberta roofer. So it's not Alberta, Alabama. So let me watch when I type in Alberta roofer. It may be getting confused with Alberta, Canada. No, Alberta, Alabama. It's going right to it. So, and you are showing up right there. So that's the power of those service area pages. So service pages, service area pages for all of those things, doing good. So now you're, with this foundation, probably the next thing you want to do is move into, if you haven't already, into those middle of funnel, top of funnel blog content to start getting that going. Let's take a peek at what we look like on an iPhone. So again, the thing that flips here in the middle, I don't like, but you got your call button right there, request form, send a message. You look like you have a lot of good things going for you. So good job with that. Let's take a pic. The excelcontracting.com didn't show up. So your website didn't come up. Justin, is this typed in correctly? You can unmute if you want, or you can type it in chat. XL-contract. Okay, that's what it is. We just spelled it wrong. All right, contracting.com. So I'm guessing this is probably your website here. So now we go up into the title tag. Here's where, one of those things that it's not detailed enough. Illinois and Wisconsin, exterior remodeling, roofing, siding, gutter. So you have too much stuff in there. Are you targeting exterior remodeling, roofing, siding? One thing per page. Exterior remodeling, I want to tell you, is exterior contractors, exterior remodeling. People don't search for that. People search for roofing, siding, gutters, windows, right? They search for those things. Exterior is not something that they search for. So the most trusted roofing contractor for Northern Illinois and Southern Wisconsin, I would guess that is a little bit too wide. So you're probably Lake County and then into whatever county that is in Southern Wisconsin there. Maybe depending on your location, let me take a peek at your address. So you're in Roscoe, right? So now we're looking at Roscoe. You're right there on the border of Wisconsin and Illinois. So, Rockford is another good one to target around there. And then you're going to build out your service area pages for for Janesville and Beloit and Delvin maybe, and things like that. And that's where, so it's harder when you have an expanded service area like that. The website looks nice, looks clean. Trust factors, OC Platinum, Guild Quality, Better Business Bureau, roofing contractor. Let's see what kind of tag this is in. Probably in a good header tag. So this is in an H1 tag. Was it David? When notice that yours was in an H5 tag. So H1 is the most relevant. So you want those big titles to be in H1 tags like you have here on this site, Justin. So phone number in the upper right-hand corner, get a quote. You got a form here, most trusted contractor, limited offers. So you're going straight into offers. I would like to see maybe more of speaking to the fears of the consumer a little bit faster than the offers, but that's just a kind of you can see how it works. These are the types of systems that you provide. I love the personalization, right? People buy from who they know, like, and trust. So having your picture on the website, pictures of you, your team, in your gear, all of that, extremely important. About you, why you're the go-to remodeling, why you're the go-to professional. The word remodeling, in reference to roofing is not that'll confuse Google. So the go-to roofing experts, right? The go-to exterior experts, but I would put in roofing if I were you. Remodeling professionals, again, I would like to see that be more roofing related. Got your address on the page, that's good. You got your reviews all the way down here at the bottom. I would love to see that social proof maybe brought in around this lifetime offers, maybe above it or below it really quick there. That'd be, you have your ratings right here, but there are ways to actually bring in the reviews and showcase them on the website. So now you have roofing, roof replacement, options and materials, metal, roof repair, hail damage. So you have an opportunity here to further build out the content on your website. So you do have asphalt shingle, metal, single shake, slate. People won't search for single shake. They'll search for cedar shake, most likely, or wood shake. Wood shake, cedar shake is what they will type into Google. So single shake, changing that verbiage to cedar shake or wood shake would probably be helpful in getting that page to be more relevant to the way that people search for Google in Google. So our metal roofing installers first. So another thing you could do is put in metal roofing. So let's look at, I'm going to search as if I'm in Roscoe here. And I want to show you, if I type in metal roofing companies and go down to the map here, what you're going to see in the map is their website mentions metal roofing company, right? Metal siding, Roscoe, Illinois. So Google only knows how to read. So having the page on your website that has a page, since you have a page for metal roofing company, Google is showing you in the map section for metal roofing company. So it's a having that content really drives those maps listings in a lot of way. All right, we're at 11:57. Let me pop over to, hopefully that was helpful for you. I want to be able to get to everyone and not take up too much time. Stonescape, Colorado and Wyoming. So there's another one, right? That you have a little bit of location challenge there. The last roofer you will ever need. That's awesome, right? Right down the, like, going for that term. It's in an H1 tag, so it's in the proper tags. You have your Colorado office, Wyoming office. So roofing services, you have all these pages. I won't get too detailed into that. I would like to see how you define your service area a little bit better. Let's see where you're located. So you have an office in Fort Collins and then in Cheyenne. So when you're working in multiple service areas like this, sometimes you'll never rank this website in Fort Collins by the way that it's targeted, and you'll never rank this homepage, I won't say never. It will be extremely challenging to rank this homepage in each of these locations because they are very separate, distinct areas, right? I know they're, 45 minutes, an hour from each other, but they're very distinct areas. So I would suggest for you to really define your service area and have pages for all the area around there, Loveland, Windsor, all that type of stuff. And then up into Cheyenne, I don't know what the little towns around there are. And focusing on one location for your page here. I love the trust factors, your expertise, 2020 OC, good images. Let's go into like your residential roofing page here. Local residential roofers, stone coated steel. So I would like to see, instead of having a page, I would like to see these all in different pages. So a residential roofing is a page for itself because that's what someone may type into Google. Then when you get down into stone coated steel, I would like to see that siloed residential roofing, metal, stone coated steel. So you have pages well defined into each and every one of those. So let's see if I click on anything around here to see if you have more pages. So some ideas for you there. I love that you're bringing in those trust factors. That's what I'd mentioned on that other site. Name, address, and phone number. You got a couple of images broken, it looks like, here around the what to expect. So take a peek at that. Down in the area, you do have, looks like you do have service area pages for a lot of things. Arvada may be challenging, a little bit far, but from where you're located. Name, address, and phone number. Because of the two locations, it's hard, but yeah, pretty good. Let's see what your site looks like on mobile. Got your phone numbers in the upper right at the top here. I'll accept all your cookies. Not too bad on mobile. Get a free quote. Let's see what your quote form looks like on mobile. Oh, I don't think that get a free quote button is working right now. All right. And then we do have roofsonly.com. Do I know you, Joachim? I know Roofs Only for some reason. Let's see who we still have with us. Cool. We got DJ with us. Was that helpful, DJ? Now I can see you again. Awesome, man. Roofsonly.com, phone number in the upper right-hand corner. That's great. Quality residential and commercial roofing services. I'd like to see that split up. I don't know why is this an image? I don't know if this is an image here. it feels, well, I can highlight it. So it's not an image. It's just a little funky. So section banner. Yep, header class page 2. I don't know if this is built in. It was built in WordPress. All right. Residential and commercial roofing services. I'd like to see that separated. Stick with one of the top keywords: roofers, roofing companies, roofing contractors in this area. Request an appointment. Got that there. You have a request an appointment button that's going to your contact us page, but you have a form right here. So I don't think that's necessary. I would like you to speak to the fears of the consumer more from a conversion rate optimization standpoint. So, hey, what do we do that is different than our competitors? Or, what is our experience? Do we have financing offers? Do we work with storm damage restoration? I don't know where you're at. So you're in Texas. So careful with your storm damage restoration aspects. Here's one of the things I'd like to point out to you: the lack of authenticity in the images. So get these images replaced as fast as possible. You are a newer company, so it's understandable. Got to start somewhere. But I'd like to see a picture of one of your team members here, one of your team members, or one of your projects in all of these areas. This person using a drill onto a roof. What are they hanging a picture? Like, what's going on there, right? That's not roofing. So the lack of authenticity there, these guys probably are not roofers. So I like this. I like this icon. Customers always come first, doing the right thing. That's nice. Request an appointment, gable roof, scalloped butterfly. This might be a little technical for people. They're not looking at that as much. Types of residential. Let's go into one of your pages here. So you got metal. I like Texas metal roofing experts, benefits, durability. So you're speaking to that. Good amount of content, so that's good. But maybe you could go into a little bit more detail about the different types of metal roofing systems that you install. And this is stuff that you can do on an ongoing basis, right? You have a good foundation, it looks like, to start with. Up here in the title tag, I see metal roofing, roofers only. So I need a location also in there. Roofsonly.com. Roofing contractors, roof repair and installation. So location is what you seem to be missing in that. In Texas, well, that's a lot. So this type of a site may work if you're not looking for SEO. If you're just out there boots and knuckles and people visit your site, and you may be in Dallas this week, and down in New Braunfels next week, and you're down by in the Woodlands the week after that, and you're so that may give you a kind of that brand image if you're doing something like that, but it's not going to get you ranking in your local area. Someone asked, do you have any suggestions for live chat companies, web page writers? There's different places to find. Let's see, Roofs Only site just launched 2 weeks ago. Okay, cool. So suggestions for live chat. We do live chat through our lead management system, Contractor Boost. Let's see here. If anyone is using live chat, drop in who they're using. If you think it's good. Looks like it's a Facebook, maybe a Facebook message. Someone that might be good, Prime Roofing CA. Here's another website that someone wants to take a peek at. So I don't know about web chat. I can't think of anyone off the top of my head that's good. I think you could get it with like Signpost, Podium, some of those. PulseM, I think you could get have website chat through some of those softwares. Who else in roofing? I'm trying to think of Chirp, maybe one of those. We integrate it with Contractor Boost, our lead management system is how we do all the live chat. Let's see here. We got a few people left on. Let's see who else is left on here with us. Cool. We got a couple people. So I'll do this. I'll do Prime Roofing. CA. All right. Prime Roofing, CA. So I don't see any location targeting on the website so far. Sacramento County, Roseville, Placer. Okay. So Prime Roofing, California, out in Sacramento. I grew up in Sacramento, went to high school there, elementary school through high school there. So love the area. So yeah, you want to get this structured in a little bit better manner so that it's targeting roofing companies, Sacramento, right? So up here, a roofing company dedicated to top quality customer satisfaction. That's kind of a byline. So your Sacramento roofing experts, maybe, right? Depending on what area of town you're in. I think Prime, I think you guys are out in Rancho, right? Let me look. Roseville. Okay, you're up in Roseville. So, so homepage could target Sacramento. Inner pages targeting Roseville, Lincoln. You know, if you guys are going up into Auburn and things like that, doing that, roof replacement. I need to see your phone number, right? That's one thing from a, you know, you have your contact us button. I want to see a phone number. We want to let people do what we want them to do as easily as possible. So call us now. Most people call versus fill out forms. We look through our call logs. We listen to every phone call that comes into all of our clients. And we know leads come in probably 70%, sometimes 80% through phone calls. People call roofing companies. So get your phone number in the upper right-hand corner. So now re-roof and roof replacement. Re-roof, roof replacement, separate those words. It's the same thing, but people, you know, it's just the way that people type it into Google. Understand, nice, local roofing contractor, roofing process. It's a little bit from they're kind of a little bit jumbled from the way that it's set up here. Like this isn't really well structured to see what your roofing process is. I'd like to see that cleaned up a little bit. If this goes to certainty, I'm going to be upset with you. Don't let people leave your website, right? Don't let them go somewhere else. Don't go to GAF's brochure. Don't let them go there. So make sure you take those off of there. Like if you got this little video, right? Try and get this more towards the top of the page. This is an image from GAF, I think, stuff like that. I like this video. This video should be higher on the page. Let's see what name, address, and phone number in the footer should be linked to your Google My Business listing. So you take your address and then you link it to your Google My Business listing. So that's creating a little bit of a circle there with Google saying, you know, hey, this is our address and this is our Google My Business listing. So no service area pages that I can see. So that's another thing that you could start building out, right? Like best roofing companies, Lincoln, best roofing companies, you know, Roseville, or you're in Roseville. So best roofing companies, Rockland, best roofing companies, Folsom, best roofing companies, Rancho, all of those types of things. Set an appointment. Let's see what you look like on mobile. So not mobile optimized at all. So you're really going to have to get a foundational website that's optimized for mobile at the same time as Google. Okay, who had the real nice websites here? All right, Stone, we're going to pick on you a little bit, DJ, because I think you're doing a good job. Let's check your site speed, buddy. So this is how you check site speed, page speed insights. Big money. That's for the older crowd here. You guys know what I'm talking about. These youngsters don't know about that. Big money when you hit the button. All right. Web page writers, someone else dropped in chat. So you got web page writers, Upwork. You can get stuff written on Upwork is a good place to find freelancers that'll do writing. If you even on a cheaper spend, you could go to Fiverr, or just type into Google SEO content writing services. There's a lot of them. Fat Joe is a popular one. So there's lots of services out there that will help to write that content for you. All right, let's see page speed insight. So 54 on mobile. Let's see, where's the desktop? I got stuff in the way, sorry. Everyone's pictures are in the way. 97 on desktop. So really good on desktop. A little bit of optimization that you could get to mobile. Mobile will always be less than desktop. It just will. It's just Google's algorithm. If you could get this up into those into the 80s, you're solid. So that's a good one. We're pushing a little over an hour here, so want to be respectful of everyone's time. Thanks for coming on. If anyone has any questions, we definitely be happy to answer. I'll skip through all of these live examples, things that I got here. That's if nobody wants to help me. Let's do a quick takeaways. DJ, what'd you learn, man? What'd you notice? What'd you like to share? Justin, same thing. Like what can you do a little bit? Prime Roofing, Gloria, if you want to jump in, anyone, just feel free, hit it, unmute real quick, and what do you think? What was the key takeaway?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
That I had broken links on my site.
Oh yeah.
No,
It happens.
splitting up those materials like metal roofing, asphalt shingles into their own pages makes sense. I've thought about it for a long time. We had this website rebuilt by a company, and I basically had to dismantle it and rebuild it after the fact. So that was one thing I was thinking about, but I just got done redoing all the city pages, which, as you saw, there's a lot. So it's
a lot. Yeah.
kind of thinking about that being on my agenda. So you kind of spoke to something that, I'd put thought into, and now I clearly should do.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like everything can be in phases. Not everything has to be done at once, right? Just start to continuously improve a little bit at a time, and pretty soon you get to a really good spot with everything. So SEO takes work, takes time.
Yeah.
Justin? Gloria? Anyone else?
Well, it looks like I need to split up our areas, maybe some more service area pages.
Yep, for sure. Yeah, and it's just the way people search, right? Like that's the way people search. And if you look at like Home Advisor, Angie, Yelp, and all these guys, and GAF, OC now, like they're trying to rank for all of those city-state keywords, right? And so that's what Google likes. Google likes that. So, and it will pull those location pages based on where it feels you're located, or in the way that people type it into Google, either or. So they're really good, and they're definitely a good thing to work on and powerful to get showing up for.
We actually have two locations. We have an office in Roscoe, and then we have one in Madison, Wisconsin. So,
okay.
I mean, it's been difficult for us in each area.
Yep. And so you really have to treat them as two separate businesses, almost the same website, but two, like building out everything for Madison and building out everything for Roscoe, right? Like would definitely to help define that in Google. That's how we build all of our, when we have multiple companies that we work with that have multiple locations like that. We essentially build a whole new website for that if it's a metropolitan area, right? So we have a client that's in Raleigh and in Atlanta, right? So they have a full website built out for Raleigh, all optimized for Raleigh and their service area around Raleigh. And then we have a full website for Atlanta and everything that's optimized for everything around Atlanta, because they're two very competitive areas. So I think Home Advisor is up to like, I don't know, 2.5 million pages on its website. So they have a page for everything, you know, so that's who we're dealing with. That's who we're dealing with, everyone. We got to compete against them. If you want to know how we can help you out, be happy to jump on a call with you. Go to roofermarketers.com, schedule a call, 855-799-1252 if you want to just jump in. Thanks for joining us today. Hopefully you got some good information. Again, check out our YouTube channel. Check out the podcast if you don't listen, Roofing Success. And appreciate everyone's time.